I don't know if I'm live yet. Can't even tell. I think it's taking its time, but thank you for being here. Yes, we are live. It's Anathea. Thanks for being here. I'm your divine feminine educator, inspiring people and women to really connect to the sacredness and power of your feminine side. Whether you're a man or a woman, we both have masculine and feminine sides. And so it's really important for us to balance those energies. Now is the time to connect to those softer energies. What the biggest part is just really going inward, understanding that we have an outer world, but we also have an inner world, and getting familiar with that terrain. But today's video, what I really want to talk about is recognizing passive aggressive behavior. Are you dealing with passive aggressive behavior in your relationships? You know, passive aggressive communication, that's how many people communicate. Are you one of them? Are you dealing with it? So let me ask you, are you in a relationship where you feel like you're on a roller coaster ride? Are you in relationships where the person is moody, where the person is nice to you one moment or one day, and the next day they're not talking to you at all, and you don't really even know what's going on, or you have an idea, but it's not being discussed or talked about? Or is that person actually maybe you? Are you using the silent treatment? So that's what I want to talk about, is to really help you understand passive aggressive behavior, to recognize it, whether it's in yourself or another, and to shift that behavior. Because passive aggressive, if you really want to feel connection and not feel isolated, passive aggressive behavior is something that you really need to learn to free yourself from, and help the person that you're with free themselves from that as well. But you first have to role model it within yourself. So let me give you some ideas of what passive aggressive behavior is. In the article that I have linked to this video is 8 examples of how to recognize passive aggressive behavior. And let me tell you, passive aggressive behavior is simply because either you or the other person isn't connected to their emotions, is not connected to their voice. I don't know why when I come up with passive aggressive behavior, the one that I have as an example is the husband and wife are getting ready to go out to dinner, right? And the wife is in the bed, in the bathroom getting ready. And she says to her husband, "I'll be ready in just a few minutes." Knowing if she were to really check in, she really understands that it's going to take her a good hour to get ready. But she's saying, "Honey, I'll be there, in just a few minutes." Why would she do that? Why not say, "It's going to take me, honey, it's actually going to take me 60 minutes to get ready." Because she doesn't want to disappoint him, and or she may have some resentments going on, and it doesn't really matter, right? That's pure passive aggressive behavior. What we're talking about today, welcome for the new people that have arrived, we're talking about is how to recognize passive aggressive behavior, whether you're doing it or whether you're dealing with it in your relationships. And it's funny because, it is a form of communication. Couples can literally connect using passive aggressive behavior. So let me give you examples of passive aggressive behavior. "Oh, I'm not mad." "Oh, I'm not mad," when you really are. Owning your own emotions is really important. And so when you use passive aggressive behavior, you're not acknowledging and owning your feelings. "I'm not mad." We're going to go on with this. The other one is "fine, whatever." So you are mad, but you're being put off by it. Yeah, whatever. So you're kind of putting up a wall instead of actually dealing with it. So fine, or I'm fine, when you know darn well that you're not fine. So what's underneath that? When you say, yeah, I'm fine, underneath that is you're not really willing to talk about what's going on. This is a good one, procrastination. Procrastination is a huge passive aggressive way of communicating. So somebody, let's say, well, you know what? I don't want to put you on the defenses. Let's say, and it goes both ways. Passive aggressive behavior begets more passive aggressive behavior, right? And it takes one person to stop the cycle. Let's say, you want someone to do something for you and you ask, and they say, yes, yeah, I'll do that later on today. They know they're just saying it to put you off temporarily so that they can continue doing what they're doing. So it's like the nagging wife. Yes, dear, I'll do that. I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to that. When that person knows darn well that they're not really even thinking about doing it. They're just saying, I'll do it. That's passive aggressive behavior. And then the next one goes, well, I didn't know you meant now. I didn't know you meant now. So you ask in the morning for that to be done. In the afternoon, it's still not done. And then you ask about it and they say, oh, well, I didn't know that you meant in the morning, or I didn't know that you meant for me to do that today. Well, why would I ask? But the other thing is, how do you ask? In these changing times, we really need to look at our relationships and how are we navigating and communicating within our relationships. I'll tell you, our relationship inherently is a very aggressive relationship. I'm going to give you an example. Have a nice day. You're commanding somebody to do something instead of, I wish for you a nice day. So inherently, even though we're saying something nice, we're actually being very aggressive in the way we're communicating. It's inherent in our language. Little things like that make a big difference. But anyway, let's get back to that passive aggressive. I didn't know you meant now. Really? The other one is you just want everything to be perfect. So let's say that you do ask someone to do something for you. They're resentful about it. Let's say a wife wants help around the house cleaning up. That's a big one. So then they finally do help. They vacuum, but they vacuum like half the carpet with big holes in between. And then knowing that if they do it not fully, I would hate to say the word, if they do it half-ass, then they know they're not going to be invited to do it again. That's passive aggressive behavior. Another one is, oh, I thought you knew. So somebody observing someone that they love, maybe going and meeting somebody for tea, when they know that person actually called and left a message saying that they can't make it, but they didn't get that message yet. And so they let that person go out the door, meet with their friend, and come back and say, that person did a no-show on me. Well, the no-show is passive-aggressive behavior too. Our culture is filled with passive-aggressive behavior, and we're not even aware of it. Consideration is the opposite of passive-aggressive behavior. Tuning in to what you're doing and how it affects another is the opposite of passive-aggressive behavior. And it takes an extra degree of self-awareness of how your behavior is literally affecting another person's. But like I said, passive-aggressive behavior begets more passive-aggressive behavior. Passive-aggressive communication begets more passive-aggressive communication. And so you literally are operating on not really communicating about what is really happening and what's going on with each other, but rather just showing each other through passive-aggressive behavior. I'm fine. Oh, this is another big one. Honey, why are you getting so upset? I was only joking. That's a big one, because underneath every single joke is a passive-aggressive message. Yes. Why are you getting so upset? So finally, you've used passive-aggressive behavior so much that you have the other person completely upset that they finally blow a fuse. And now that person is staying cool. It's really about passing energy back and forth, but it's subterranean energy instead of bringing it out and open. And it's a skill. It's a communication skill to be able to say, when you do that, it really upsets me. And what I really need is open communication, or what I really need is gentleness, or what I need is transparency. Why are you getting so upset? And so then the person is actually processing your emotions. And that's gaslighting is a whole different subject, where you are manipulating the situation so that that person can have self-doubt on what they're feeling. So the bottom line is passive-aggressive behavior removes you from what's really going on underneath. Passive-aggressive communication is communicating in a behavioral pattern when there's something actually underneath that needs to be said. And that can be with you, that can be with the other person, and that can be actually a way of navigating in a relationship. I want to encourage you to look at your behaviors. Look at other people's behaviors that you love and that you care about, that you're having challenges with. And give them a safe space to be able to speak what's really underneath that behavior. So check out the article that's linked to this video about passive-aggressive behavior, and see if you're behaving that way, or if people that you love are behaving that way. And know unequivocally that there's something deeper underneath that's going on that needs to be looked at. Because when you free yourself from passive-aggressive behavior, you're creating an opening for connection. And that's what we're all really looking for, is how to connect on a deeper level. So I hope this has been helpful. Check out the link either below or above, and find out, become more aware of the passive-aggressive behavior that's playing out in your life and in your relationships. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.